Good morning, my beloved community. The bell calls up to worship. The chime of the bell beckons us into a sacred time. Welcome. Welcome to the First Unitarian Church of Houston, where we widen love's circle by honoring the inherent worth and dignity of all. We extend a heartfelt and inclusive invitation to join us in meaningful worship and in service to the world. We greet all those who join us this morning, those here in our sanctuary, all of our many online viewers, así como el creciente número de participantes bilingües que nos acompañan desde sus hogares. Today we welcome Carrie Holly Hurt to the pulpit. She is in her last year of Austin Presbyterian Theological Seminary and a candidate for fellowship through the UUA. Carrie is currently the intern minister at Live Oak Unitarian Universalist Church in Cedar Park. Before getting the call to ministry, Carrie was a policy analyst for the Texas legislature, having earned her master's in public policy. She brings her experience working with the legislature and her passion for change into her ministry. Carrie is married to Russell Holly Hurt, and together they have 2 children, Phoenix and Alex, and 1 very loved but odd cat, Tonks. I invite newcomers to join us for coffee and conversation in Channing Hall after the service. And I invite members to seek out someone you have not yet met and make a new friend. Now please join music intern Symphony Pringle for our first hymn.
Good morning, everybody. Please turn in your great hymnal to hymn number 287. Please rise in body and or spirit as we sing hymn number 287.
Good morning. I'm so grateful to be with you all today. As we enter into worship, I want to pull our focus to this beloved community, to the love that all of us here have, and for the hope that we hold for those who will come in the future. I'm going to use the words from Reverend Dana Worsnop to help bring us into this place. Often people say that they love coming to a place with so many like-minded people. I know just what they're getting at, and I know they aren't getting it quite right. I don't want to be with a bunch of people who think like me. I want to be where people are practicing the beloved community, where I don't have to think like everyone else to be loved, to be eligible for salvation. I want to be with people who value compassion and justice, love and truth, though they have different thoughts and opinions on all sorts of things. I want to be with independent-minded people of good heart. I want to be with people who have many names and no name at all for God. I want to be with people who see me in my goodness and my dignity, who also see me failing and who still love me. I want to be with people who see life as a paradox, but don't always rush to resolve it. I want to be with people who inspire one another to follow the call of the Spirit. I want to be with people who covenant to be honest and engaged and kind, who strive to keep their promises and hold me to mine. I want to be with people who give of themselves, who share of their hearts and minds and gifts. I want to be with people who know that human community is often warm and generous, sometimes challenging, and almost always a grand adventure. In short, I want to be with people like you.
Now, in reading a congregational covenant. Love is the spirit of our congregation. Service is our prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek truth in love, and to encourage one another. Thus do we covenant.
Beautiful. Now is the time that I'd like to invite our children up here. We are going to teach the congregation a song called Standing Like a Tree. So we're going to need our children up here, and those who want to can stand up and start to be like a tree. We're inviting everybody to do that too. And at the end, because we're going to be trees for a little while, I kind of like the idea of the people who are in the middle of the aisle here to kind of make a canopy when we're leaving. So that would be really lovely, just however that turns out, because that's how trees are. They do it however they do it. Right? Okay, you guys, we're going to stand up. Come on up here, and we'll do it together. You ready? We'll just make it here. Okay. Okay, so you give me an A minor. Standing like a tree. Oh, I'm forgetting how it goes. Standing like a tree with my roots stuck down, my branches wide and open. Come down the rain, come down the sun, come down the fruit to a heart that is open to me. Standing like a tree with my roots stuck down, my branches wide. Getting kind of a canopy in the middle. Gonna do a little canopy in the middle. Okay, and the kids and I are gonna go through the canopy. Ready?
As you go, may joy surround you. As you go in peace. Know our love is with you always. As you go, as you go.
It was beautiful. This is the time of the service when we pause for contemplation. This may be one of the only times during the week when we intentionally sit in silence, when we still our minds and our hearts and breathe. This is the time that some call meditation and others call prayer. Breathe with me the breath of life. Breathe in for loving, for acceptance, and with a sense of calm. Breathe out the sorrow, the division, the stress. Inhale as we share this interwoven, intricate web of affinity. Exhale as we feel one another's presence. Breathe with me as we gather to do the holy work of kinship and support. Open your minds and open your hearts. God of many names, in mystery beyond all our naming, to that which transcends us. We are so grateful for the gift of one another, for the gift of community, for the ways that community helps us to grow and to thrive, the ways it challenges us. We are thankful for this congregation, for the work that they do and the joy that they hold, that they can be a soft place for all those that have been harmed. We are grateful that we can bring our pain, our hurt, our fears, knowing that we can bring our whole self into this sacred space. We pray in the name of all those known and unknown, present and absent, remembered and forgotten. We pray in the name of all helpers of humankind. Amen. We also pause together to lift up which sits heavy and light on our hearts. While I'm sure we're all carrying something, there is also the victims and all of those that are affected by the fires in Hawaii. And I know that you join me in praying for rain. We now turn to a practice inspired by African, indigenous, and pagan traditions. We say aloud or bring to mind those who we wish to hold in a loving embrace of this religious community. They are part of the great cloud of witnesses and memory, and we will, even if we do not know their names, hold them in our hearts. In this great cloud of witness and memory, amid this beloved community, we hear these names and we hold them in our hearts. Let us remember the suffering and the joy amid and among our community that we do not know. We pause in awe and wonder of the beauty, diversity, and mystery that is life. In the spirit of love, in the spirit of hope, and in the spirit of compassion, I invite each of you to enter into a time of silent prayer, of meditation, or reflection.
Each week, our morning offering is shared with an organization that shares our Unitarian Universalist values and through which we may live out our principles in the world. This week, that organization is the Unitarian Universalist Service Committee, or the UUSC. The mission of the UUSC is to advance human rights and social justice around the world by partnering with those who confront unjust power structures and by mobilizing the challenge oppressive policies. Their work is grounded in the belief that all people have inherent power and dignity. UUSC's work began in 1939 when Reverend Waitstaff and Martha Sharp took an extraordinarily difficult risk helping refugees escape Nazi persecution in Europe. Inspired by Reverend Waitstill and Martha Sharp's courageous mission, the Unitarian Service Committee, the precursor to the UUSC, was established in 1940 to continue and formalize humanitarian service. For more than 80 years, UUSC has maintained a steadfast presence on the front lines of social justice movements around the globe. Those in our sanctuary will find the instructions for text giving in the order of service, and those watching the live stream will see the instructions on your screen. Our regular Sunday morning offering collection invites us to weave a tapestry of love and action. We ask you to give generously. An offering will now be gratefully received. Please join me in dedicating our offering. The words are in your order of service. To the work of this church, which is weaving a tapestry of love and action, we dedicate our lives, and these are offerings. Our first reading this morning is Let Us Make This Earth a Heaven by Tess Baumberger. Let us make this earth a heaven right here, right now. Who knows what existence's death will bring? Let us create in a heaven here on earth where love and truth and justice reign. Let us welcome all at our pearly gates, our freedom table, amid singing and great rejoicing, black, white, yellow, red, and all other lovely colors, straight, gay, transgenders, bisexual, and all the ways of loving each other's bodies. Blind, deaf, mute, healthy, sick, variously abled, young, old, fat, thin, gentle, cranky, joyous, sorrowing. Let no one feel excluded, let no one feel alone. May the rich let loose their wealth to rain upon the poor. May the poor share their riches with those too used to money. May we come to venerate the earth, our mother, and tend her with wisdom and compassion. May we make our earth an Eden, a paradise. May no one wish to leave her. May hate and warfare cease to clash in causes too old and tired to name: religion, nationalism, the false god of gold, deep-rooted ethnic hatreds. May these all disperse and wane. May we see each other's true selves. May we all dwell together in peace and joy and understanding. Let us make a heaven here on earth before it is too late. Let us make this earth a heaven for each other's sake. So ends the reading.
Our second reading is by Laura Horton Ludwig. What we do matters. We are here because we believe that what we do matters. We are here because we believe we live our lives in a way that matters. That every act of kindness or meanness, courage or fear, love or hate, we are weaving the fabric of the universe that holds us all. We are here because we need encouragement, because we need strength, because too often we get distracted, we get in a rush, we don't think, we choose the easy way when the harder path is what our spirit truly needs. We are here because none of us is perfect, but together we inspire one another to try again, to take another step. We are here because we have felt the stirrings of love and grace in our hearts and our hands, and we crave more of it for ourselves, but not only for ourselves, for everyone. We are here because we believe that how we live matters.
All right, everyone, if you could open your teal hymnal to 1051 for our second hymn. That's hymn number 1051 in your teal hymnal. Please rise in body and or spirit for hymn 1051.
We are
Good morning again. I am so glad to be with you all this morning. Thank you. Thank you for the affirmation. See why I want to be with y'all this morning? What an amazing community. I always want to be with you-yous. Because I don't know if y'all know this, but it's kind of a fire out there. There is so much violence, so much hate, so much bigotry, fascism on the rise, Christian nationalism is getting the headlines every day. It is hard. White supremacy, heteropatriarchy are a heavy weight that I can feel just leaving this building. So, of course, I want to be here with this community where there is hope and there is resilience, where concepts like hell are not things that we are trying to pretzel our way into a specific belief so we can avoid it in the afterlife, but rather that it exists in the here and now. That heaven and hell are human creations that require a human response. Yes, that is the community I want to be with all the time. I need y'all. You need each other. We need each other. Thank you. And the thing is, though, the fact that I'm here, and not like here, because I'm here, but the fact that I'm a you is a fluke. You see, I was raised fundamentalist Christian, and when I was a young adult, I said, no, thank you. I won't be taking that shame anymore. And I was done. Just done with religion. They now call us the nuns or the duns. I was a little bit of both, some backsliding, but mostly I was just done with religion. And then a friend said, hey, I'm going to have a petition at this church on Sunday morning asking the school district to treat queer kids well. A novel idea indeed. And so, of course, I show up because that's a great cause. And I had known nothing about Unitarian Universalist. I am just assuming it's another type of Christian I hadn't met yet. I'm going in, I'm going to sign the petition, I'm going to get out. But I go in and I sign the petition, and the music is not like music I'd heard before. I'm like, what's up with these Christians? So I go into the sanctuary, and I'm like, I'm going to find out, because I am curious, which makes me a natural candidate for being a Unitarian Universalist. And the minister was queer. The minister was queer, and that's probably not a big deal to y'all, but to me, who had only heard bad things about who I was from the pulpit, to see someone at the pulpit who was queer, I never had so much instantaneous healing as I had in that moment. And then he was talking about all the ways that white supremacy and heteropatriarchy were present in our society, all the ways that it caused harm. I had a name to all of that weight I was carrying. And then he said, our responsibility is to stand against it. To say I fell in love that day is an understatement. I fell hard, and I'm so happy I did. One of the most transformational experiences of my entire life. And when I think about it, it scares me that it was such a fluke. You know, you have a reputation as being the best kept secret, right? It's not as cute as it sounds. Because there are people in this world that were like me that were completely unconnected and bearing the weight of this world by themselves. Our current Surgeon General says that we have an epidemic of loneliness. He says, and it's not because we're not around each other, because we are. It's that we're not connected to each other. And that creates epidemic rates of mental and physical health crisis. it leads to death for so many people. And of course it does. Bearing the weight of what is out there without connection, that's an impossible ask. So what do? We have this loving religion that has so much potential and possibility. We have these communities of people who come together not because they believe in the same thing. No, you're not like-minded. You're like-hearted. You believe in change. So what do we do when we have this good thing going on, and then we have all this harm? Now, I am a proper pluralist, so just know I don't think that we are the answer for everyone, but we are the answer for many. So what do? First of all, I don't think we need to recreate the wheel. Over 200 years ago, John Murray set out to bring the good news of universal salvation to this country. And 200 years or so later, a biographer, a Universalist minister named Alfred Cole, imagined what his marching orders would have been like from Spirit. And he wrote that he thought that John Murray was told to go out into the highways and the byways of America, your new country. Give the people blanketed with decaying and crumbling Calvinism something of your new vision. You may possess only a small light, but uncover it. Let it shine. Use it in order to bring more light and more understanding to the heart and minds of men. Give them not hell, but hope and courage. Do not push them deeper into their theological despair, but preach the kindness and everlasting love of God. We could update that a little bit. It needs to be a little updated. But it's pretty convicting, right? People were crushed under the weight of bad theology. They're crushed under the weight of bad theology now. So what are we going to do? I want to address, if any of you are feeling tightness in your chest or your stomach and you're thinking, is this woman asking us to evangelize? Yes, 100%. That is exactly what I'm asking you to do. Yes. And I'm not asking you, go get your hardbound Mary Olivers and take your soapbox out into the middle of the museum district and preach the good news of Unitarian Universalism. That would be weird and probably not very effective. But no, we got to do something different. That tension we need to address that first, right? There is tension because when we think of being evangelical, it's a dirty word, but we're going to use it today because we're brave people. But when we think of being evangelical, it comes with all sorts of imperialism and paternalism. It comes with all sorts of baggage that has led to genocide and slavery and all manners of horrible wickedness. So we have to address that first. But we also have to realize that when we step out of the conversation and we allow ourselves to be the best kept secret there is, we create a vacuum. And what fills the space harms people. So let's reclaim our space. Now, while we are in community as Unitarian Universalists, I'm not in your specific community. And so I don't really know what that looks like for y'all. I wish I had a blueprint. Believe me, I would give it to everybody. But I don't. You're going to have to figure this one out on your own. But I think there are two really important elements. The first is that we have to internalize our identity as Unitarian Universalist. I used to be a health coach, and if someone told me, I'm not a X, I'm not a vegetable eater, or a runner, or a waker-upper before 9 o'clock, or whatever it was, I knew they were not going to achieve their goal. You only protect what you think you are. You will protect your identity, even if it hurts you. You will protect that identity and you will live into it. One of the best examples of this was from a parishioner who told me that for years she would just say, I go to this UU church. And then slowly she started to call herself a Unitarian Universalist. And that led her to the Capitol this last session. And when she went into those legislators' office and she said, I am a Unitarian Universalist, and this drag ban, these trans healthcare bans, these book bans, this ban on CRT, or whatever manner of hell they had concocted that day, it is against my religion. She felt empowered in that moment. And I guarantee you, the staffers in that legislator's office had probably not heard someone come in to say that they were against one of those things and use their faith. Because when we pull back, we let the people that are causing harm to take over the narrative of what is true and good in the name of religion. We can't allow that to happen. So we got to reclaim our identity. And then we got to share ourselves. And I know that that is really uncomfortable in the environment that we live in. You will never hear someone say a but faster than me when I have to tell someone I go to seminary. I go to seminary, but I'm like, cool, right? I'm going to be a minister, but like not that kind of minister. I get it. It is uncomfortable to talk about being religious when we are in a society dominated by religious narratives that are harmful and causing pain. But the thing is, if we've internalized our identity and we've had authentic transformation or experiences, we use our values to lead us further into this world, then why can't we share that? Why do we let other people share their religious points of views to the detriment of others and not speak out against it? And then we have to really just share ourselves as community. I mean, getting on those yellow shirts and showing up. Showing up at the Houston Independent School District. Showing up when the NRA comes to town. Showing up, if the Capitol is accessible to you, showing up at the Capitol and DFPS or wherever harm is being committed. We show up. In 2021, the legislative session, it was brutal. And the 3 special sessions, all of it brutal. And yes, I was with community of people who were also experiencing harm. And that was good. It's good to be in community. But this session, when I saw all those yellow shirts, people showing up who had no stake in what happened, but showing up regardless, I felt loved. I felt held. I knew I wasn't alone. This is what we do. This is what we can bring. That is deeply pastoral. To show up in our yellow shirts and show up and be on the right side of history. It's also really good marketing advice, too. Be on the right side of history. Y'all, the stakes are too high. There is too much harm. There is too much hurt. There are too many people suffering. Suffering because they are disconnected, and suffering because we are living under a horrible system right now. We care too much. Our theology is too strong to do nothing. I'm excited to see what you come up with.
right, everybody. If you could join me in your Till hymnals on hymn 1057. That's in your Till hymnal. Hymn number 1057. Rise in body and or spirit as we sing Go Lifted Up.
Join me now in extinguishing the chalice with the words in your order of service. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Teamwork, community, it's beautiful. As we do the work of tearing down systems of oppression, may we make sure to provide care and love to those that hate targets, always welcoming of love and always sharing of love, always welcoming of your own humanity and the humanity of others, all the while feeling held and supported by love and by this community. Go in peace.
Thank you so much for watching our service today. We're glad you're part of our online community, where we welcome people who are diverse in faith, ethnicity, history, as well as gender identity and sexual orientation. There are many different ways you can get involved in our community. One you can do right now is by clicking like below or subscribing to our channel. If you're interested in joining our congregation, please email us at membership@firstuuhouston.org. Thanks so much for joining us.